looking at section 6.2.3. The title is Making Connections, Systems, and Multiple Representations. We're going to answer the question, how can a solution be represented? So question number 68 says, the hills are alive. It's a song, right? Yeah, Sound of Music. All right, the Alpine Music Club is going on its annual music trip. The members of the club are yodelers. Anybody know what a yodeler is? What do? They sing like, yeah. Okay, and they like to play the xylophone. Okay, this year they are taking their xylophones on a gondola lift to give a performance at the top of Mount Monch. The gondola conductor charges $2 for each yodeler and $1 for each xylophone. It costs $40 for the entire club, including the xylophones, to ride the gondola. Two yodelers can share a xylophone. So the number of yodelers on the gondola is twice the number of xylophones. Start by focusing on one aspect of the problem, the cost to ride the gondola. The conductor charges $2 for each yodeler and $1 for each xylophone. It costs $40 for the entire club with instruments to ride the gondola lift. Part A, write an equation with the two variables that represents this information. Be sure to define your variables. So we're going to let X represent what? Xylophones. They worked really hard to come up with a problem that had a word that started with X and a word that started with Y. So we don't normally have a lot of words in the English vocabulary that start with X and start with Y. You need to take your headphone out and put it all the way in your backpack. Yeah, all the way in your backpack and leave it in there. All right? Royal. Okay. So we've got our X and our Y. We need to focus on what it costs. It's $2. Where does it say? $2 for each yodeler. How do you say $2 for each yodeler? $2 for each yodeler. 2Y. Okay. How do you say $1 for each xylophone? 1X. Okay. And then the cost for the entire club, so that's what it's going to be. Total, we would write those, what symbol? Equal sign, yes. So we're going to say $2 per yodeler plus $1 for xylophones equals 40 because that's the total. Okay? Part B, find a combination of xylophones and yodelers that will make your equation from part A true. Is this the only possible combination? So you're going to pick a number to fit in here and a number to fit in here that's going to equal 40. You could all have different answers. There are multiple answers that will work with this, okay? So what's some numbers that will fit in for X and for Y? Your answer is going to go here. You got one, Denon? Yeah, 10 for Y because you'd multiply it by 2 and then add the 20. That would get you to 40. But there's other choices that work too. Anybody else have another combination that works? What'd you get?
Just actually flip them around 40 for X.
Well, oh, that's what he did. That's the same one he had.
I flipped them around.
Okay. But would that work? 2 times 20 would get you 40, so then you'd have to have 0x, because that would already get you to 40. So you could say 20y, but you'd have to say 0x. You see what I'm saying, Dustin? Okay. So there's a couple different combinations. I listed 5 different combinations that would work here. So here's the one Denon used. Here's the one Dustin used. Anybody use 30 and 5?
Oh, yeah, I saw them.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So there's different numbers that'll work that'll add up to 40. Okay. Part D says, John says, I think there could be 6 xylophones and 12 yodelers on the gondola. Is he correct? Well, let's see what happens. If you go 2 times 12, you get 24, and then 24 plus 6 is 30. Does 30 equal 40? No, it does not. So he is not correct. That is not a possibility. Part E, Helga says, each correct combination we found is a solution to the equation. Is this true? Explain what it means for something to be a solution to a 2-variable equation. Each of these different answers, are they a solution? Yes. So you say yes. How do we know? Because a solution makes an equation true. All right, I'm going to move this up. You'll see it in just a second. All right. Question 69. We're still on the xylophones and yodelers. It says, now consider the other piece of information that was given in the original problem. The number of yodelers is twice the number of xylophones. Twice. How do you say twice in a math sentence? 2x, right? So we're going to still keep our x as xylophones and our y as yodelers. Okay. But now our equation is going to be y equals 2x. The number of yodelers is, whenever you see the word is, you write equals, okay, 2 times or twice the number of xylophones. So 2x, okay? We're going to have you list 4 different possible combinations of xylophones and yodelers that will make this equation true. What if I put in 3 for x? What will I get for y? 6. What if I put a 9 in for x? What will I get for y? Okay, so you're going to write down how many? 4 different combinations. 4 of them. Write that on your paper right now. 4 different combinations. All right. Part C says, put the equation you found in part A together with the equation from problem 68 and use substitution. All right, we've been talking about substitution for the last 2 days. We're going to use it again right here. Use substitution to solve this system of equations. So you see right here where y, or this equation is already solved for y, it's equal to 2x. So we're going to take that 2x and we're going to plug it in, substitute it into the first equation. It looks like this. So here's the first equation. 2y plus 1x equals 40. We're going to substitute in y equals 2x, and it looks like this. Where this y was at, we're now going to have 2x. Okay? I put it in parentheses. That reminds me to do which operation? Distributive if we need to, but in this case, it's just multiply, right? 2 times 2x is 4x. I add the 4x and the 1x to get 5x. I divide both sides by 5, and I get x equals 8. Okay? X is the number of xylophones. So now I need to get the number of yodelers, and I can plug it into either of the 2 original equations. The second one is way easier, right? The y, or the yodelers, is equal to 2 times the 8, and 2 times 8 is 16. Okay? So when you write it as an ordered pair, you write your x value first, then your y value second. Just go in alphabetical order when it's x, y. Okay? Part D, if the answer is the answer you found in part C, a solution to the first equation you wrote in part A of problem 68. How can you check? Is it a solution to the second equation you wrote, the equation in part A of this problem? Why is this a solution to the system of equations? What does the word system mean? System of equations. What? We just have an equation, it's just one, right? What if we have a system of equations? More than one, right? So it's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5 million, okay? So it's, in this case, because we're in integrated math 1, it's 2, but you're going to see 3 in the future, you're going to see 4, okay? You're going to see multiple equations. All right, so here's what it looks like. We're going to plug in the 16 for y, we're going to plug in the 8 for x, and we're going to see if it's true. So 2 times 16 is 32, 1 times 8 is 8, and 32 plus 8 is 40. Does 40 equal 40? Yes, we like 40 equals 40. Okay, now let's try it in the other equation. We plugged in the 16 for y, we plugged in the 8 for x, and all we have to simplify is the 2 times 8, which is 16. Does 16 equal 16? Yes, yes it does. So does it work in both equations? Yes. So is it a solution to our system? Yes, because it works in both equations. What if it had only worked in one of them? We would have to say no. Okay? Has to work in both in order for it to be a system. All right? Question number 70. We're going to graph both of our equations from 68 and 69 on the right. We're going to use the points you found to help you. So the first equation is easy. It's just y equals 2x. So I added the 0, so I knew where it would cross the y-axis. And I added a denominator of 1 so that I could see what the slope is. Okay? That one we're going to graph in just a second. The other equation, I needed to solve for y, so I've subtracted x from both sides. And then I divided all of the terms by 2. Okay? When you divide by 2, that leaves you with y. Then leave that as a fraction, negative 1/2. That's your slope. And then when you divide the 40 by 2, you get 20. Okay? So we're going to graph those two equations. The first equation starts at 0 because that's its y-intercept, and then it has a slope of 2 over 1. So you're going to count up 1, 2 over 1, 1, 2 over 1, 1, 2 over 1. Just up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. Keep doing the same thing over and over again. Okay? The second equation has a y-intercept of 20. So you go along the y-axis, you put a point right there at 20, and then the slope is negative 1/2. Negative means we're going to go down instead of up. So from that point, you're going to go down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. Keep doing it again and again until you get a point where those two lines cross. Okay. Part B asks you, what is the shape of both graphs? They're both lines, right? Part C, what are the coordinates of the point of intersections of this line, of the two lines? Where do they cross right here? Where's that at? Count it out on your paper. Where's it at? Ooh, close. Not quite. So you want to go across the x-axis first. So you're going to go over to here, which is 8. And then you're going to go up to 16. So it's 8 and 16. What was the answer to part C up above? 8 and 16. Okay. Should they be the same answer? Yes. Okay. All right, I'm going to move this up. You'll see it in just a second if you're still doing it. There it is. All right. Question number 71 says, look at your equation for the graphs for question 70. Part A, name the x and y intercepts for the line representing the cost. So there's a y-intercept at 20, so at 0, 20. And if we kept going down over here, this is the one that Dustin got, which was 40, 0.